Let's talk food and wine in Tonia's kitchen. Have a seat at the table. Here is Tonia King.
My guest today is Gabe Geller from Royal Wine Corporation, and today we are talking about wines that we can enjoy during Passover and really any time of the year as far as I'm concerned. Thanks for joining me, Gabe.
Thank you so much for having me again, Tonia. It's always a pleasure.
There are so many different choices that we could make to make our holiday meal special. Are there any particular ones that peeking out this year more than others?
There's always something else, something new. And, I send you wines, and I always have different wines on my end because there's just so many of them so that we have, the most variety. We have Herzog Special Reserve Pinot Noir.
Tell me about that.
The Herzog family, they are well known for making a lot of different Cabernet Sauvignon from all throughout California. However, they do have a few Pinot Noir that are outstanding. So this one is the Special Reserve one. If you want something special and really interesting, especially for the holidays, such as Passover, for the 4 cups of wine that we drink at the Passover Seder, Pinot Noir has that softness to it that really makes it a great wine for that occasion specifically. And it's very versatile with food, very elegant, very wholesome wine. And now it actually comes from Clarksburg. We had grapes coming from Santa Rita Hills in the past, from Edna Valley, and now it's from Clarksburg, California. It's estate ground, meaning the vineyard from which the grapes came from is owned by the Herzog family and tended to. So there's a full control, A to Z, from planting the vines to bottling the wine. And the results is in the glass. It's fabulous wine.
Many times people ask me, what makes a wine kosher? And how does that differ from others?
A lot of people think that to make kosher wine, maybe even you need the blessing from the rabbi. Absolutely not. There's no the blessing. The blessing is from the person who's actually going to consume the wine. We make a blessing, before and after consuming wine or any other beverage or type of food. There's a blessing for each and every one of those beverages or foods. However, the production itself is very similar to any other wine, except that all the hands-on operations from the time that the grapes are crushed in the winery, so right after the harvest, and until the wine is bottled. So we're talking about the fermentation, we're talking about barrel aging, we're talking about everything that actually happens in the winery itself. All of those operations have to be done exclusively by Sabbath observant Jewish workers. Not just Jewish, they have to be Sabbath observant, they have to be religious Jews. It's more about the spiritual aspect to it than the ingredients. The ingredients, of course, have to be kosher, but they usually are for any wine. It's more about who actually handles the wine.
A lot of your wine comes from Israel, but Herzog, like you mentioned, is in California. So there's a whole different family of wines just from California that are kosher that you also distribute.
That's true. So Herzog Winery is the winery that we own. It's owned by the Herzog family, which owns and operates Royal Wine Corp. However, we also distribute wines from other wineries in California. There's a winery called Shira Winery, boutique winery, that is also in Oxford, only a 10 minutes drive from Herzog Winery. There is also Agafen in Napa Valley, fantastic winery. Covenant in Berkeley. All of those wines are really fantastic and represent those specific regions. The difference is that they have kosher certification. But, if you taste a kosher wine blind without knowing that it's kosher, you wouldn't guess. It just tastes like wine.
I would tell me about the difference in climate, though. The climate change from California is obviously different than the grapes growing in Israel.
Oh, of course. So that's what's great about the world of wine, and what we have been working on now for decades at Royal Wine Corp is to really expand the offering of kosher certified wine to every major region around the world. So we have many kosher wines from Israel, many kosher wines from California, from France, from Italy, from Spain, you name it. And these are just a few examples. So I have a few Israeli wines here, by the way. I have one from Psagot, the Psagot homeland. I have the Caramel Mediterranean signature. And I have here a bottle of Champagne from Raphael, great Champagne house. All world-class, amazing wines from different grape varieties and terroir, climate, as you mentioned. Really, there is something for everybody. And nowadays, there is over 4,000 different kosher wines being produced around the world.
How do you taste them all, Gabe?
I don't. It's too many.
Yes,
I
exactly.
try. I really try, but unless you do it all day, every day, and I wish that that's all I had to do. There's no way to get around it.
You know, what I find just so interesting about the variety that you sent me, because again, I have this bottle from Spain, it says Siblings on top.
Oh yeah, Siblings by Clomesora. So that is a great story, by the way.
No kidding. What's the story?
So what's the story? So Clomesora is owned by a family, the Cohen dash Aleta family. They are the first kosher winery, estate winery in Spain since the Inquisition, since the 15th century. They are the first family, Jewish family, to have established a winery in Spain, a kosher winery. It's about 1.5 hour drive from Barcelona in Catalonia, in the region called Montsant. So the Siblings by Clomesora, why is it called Siblings? It's really a family winery. The father is the agronomist, is a world-famous agronomist, an expert. He travels the world throughout the year, working with many wineries, most of them not kosher, all over the world to help them with their vineyards, among other things. And then his wife, Anne Aleta, who was born in France, she is the winemaker. She makes the wines at Clomesora and also all the LV wines that they own, which are wines from different regions in Spain, produced at different wineries. Moses' daughter, Leah, just graduated from winemaking. She assists her mother in the winemaking, and her brother, that's where the siblings come from. Her brother David is the export and marketing director for the winery.
My goodness, so, it's like a family operation for sure.
It is a family operation, and so that's where the siblings came from. It's a wine that was really thought through by the siblings, the new generation, Leah and David Cohen. It's a fantastic wine. It's a blend of old vines, Carignan and Grenache from the estate vineyard at Clomesora. Gorgeous winery. Like if you ever travel to Barcelona, I highly recommend. That's a winery that everyone will enjoy, whether they keep kosher or not, because the wines are fantastic and it's absolutely stunning. The location where it's at is just incredible.
I just find it so exciting to sample wines from Israel, from Spain, from California. And you do this daily, right?
That's right. And you can have so much fun between the different varieties, the styles. You can decide, oh, well, for the 4 cups on Passover, maybe I had first, California wine, and then an Israeli wine, then a Spanish wine, then an Italian wine. And you can play around, with so many different combinations like that, just for fun. It just never ends. And it's amazing.
Well, now let's talk a little bit about food and wine as we head towards Passover. Do you always make the same menu for your Seder and your Passover meals, or do you ever vary? And if so, how do you incorporate different wines with each of the dishes that you're making?
So first of all, yes and no. There is parts of the menu that are the same every year, and then there's the variable. So the one thing that we make every year for the Passover Seder is beef tongue. That's like the main course we have. That's in our family, my wife and I. Everyone else, have different traditions, different recipes. I guess that there's a lot of people also who make something different every year. And by the way, the Pinot Noir was great with tongue. Whereas the rest of the year, I try most of the time to pair my wines with my meal. I put less of an emphasis on that for the Passover Seder, and I focus on wines that are gonna, take me through the entire meal and the Seder, and that are going to be a little lighter. I love going with rosé. That's like the time of the year that I drink the most rosé, and I try different rosé from different wineries and regions. So the latest in celebrity, kosher wine is a champagne from a winery in Champagne called Shona, which was partially acquired. It became a partner in 2016 by the legendary NBA All-Star Isaiah Thomas.
Oh, Isaiah Thomas. He's now doing
Isaiah Thomas,
champagne.
a contemporary of Michael Jordan. One of the greatest players of the 20th century.
Oh, yeah.
He released 2 kosher champagne, and they are amazing. I was, a little bit skeptical. Another one of those celebrity. I'm always, is it just a name? No, they're actually amazing. They're really, really good, really special. They're not just take a bottle of champagne, you slap the name
and put your name on it.
He is very much into it. He chose very carefully which winery he wanted to work with that represented the type of champagne that he likes and that he wanted to be involved. And it's a family that has been producing wine since the 16th century.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Family-owned winery, family-owned champagne house since 1788 or 82. There's 2 expressions. One is called Cuvée Spéciale, special cuvée, and one is called Blanc de Blanc Celebrity. Wow, amazing. Highly recommend whether you keep kosher or not. Those are champagnes to try. Absolutely, they are amazing. They are unique. They are low sugar, meaning there is 0 dosage in the Celebrity. They don't add any sweet wine to tame down the acidity. It's really dry. Zaya likes his champagne very dry, like I do.
You're giving it a
Great.
thumbs up for sure.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Let's get back to the menu again for Passover. What else are you making?
Matzo ball soup, of course.
Anything special about your matzo ball soup?
Anything special about my matzo ball soup? That's a great question. I like to add a little truffle to brings some earthiness and savoriness that, gives it's delicious. I mean, everyone who's had truffle before can probably relate. It's just an amazing aroma and amazing flavor as well. So it actually works great in matzo ball soup. You wouldn't think of it.
I was going to say it's so different.
They certainly didn't think of it. Yeah, they certainly didn't think of it in the little shtetl in Eastern Europe 100 years ago.
Your matzo ball soup has truffles in it. Now, what wine are you drinking with that soup?
So it's a great question because honestly, usually with soup, I don't really think about drinking wine, but I always have some great, whites and sparkling wines on the table. So be it champagne, be it a great Riesling, for example.
That's a good tip. Gabe. So what about something sweet? Do you have anything sweet for Passover?
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. So here, see, I have the bottle of caramel on the table.
Okay.
Signature Mediterranean. It's not a sweet wine, but this winery in the same series, the signature series from Carmel, they have a single vineyard, late harvest Gewürztraminer, that is lusciously sweet yet retaining, great acidity. It's very sweet. There's a lot of sugar in those dessert wines, so it's the type of wines that you want to sip rather than just chuck down. It's so good that it's really hard to hold back and not drink too much of it.
But
everything in moderation.
We're talking with Gabe Geller from Royal Wine Corporation. So, Gabe, I'm so thrilled just to learn about all the different wines that you bring to the table here because there's just so much to learn. It's so interesting because you have so many stories about all these different wineries, and yet you carry so many different wines. How do you remember all of this?
That's why I'm here. That's the reason. That's the main reason, I guess, why they hired me originally.
It is really fascinating because it seems that whatever wine I start talking about, you've got the whole history happening. I think it's quite exciting. Gabe, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. We're talking with Gabe Geller from the
Likewise.
Royal Wine Corporation. Thank you so much for your time today, and I hope you have
Thank
a
you so
lovely
much.
Passover.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for tuning in. We hope you'll subscribe to this podcast as we continue to take you around the world of food and wine on Tonia's Kitchen.